Have to talk taxes. It is tax season, and scammers are looking to take advantage of people expecting refunds.
Yeah, we are talking about the warning signs of tax fraud and the steps you can take right now to protect your money and your identity. We have Jenny Groberg with us this morning with Lincoln.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. I have not done my taxes yet. I'm almost ready to do them. Jenny, this is a busy time for tax scams, though. Why is that?
It's a big time. I think it's because, especially with finances, tax something that's only done yearly, and people panic. They panic because they haven't filed, or they may not have filed right, or maybe they haven't compiled all their information and things. So people tend to panic and have the sense of urgency anyways. And then you add in the financial aspect of, am I going to owe? Am I going to get a refund? All of these things. And so the scammers, capitalize on that. And billions each year are lost in scams.
Give us an example of what scammers are sending to people. What kind of messages are they receiving if they kind of reach out, basically?
Okay, so it would be a text message. You're going to get arrested if you don't do this. There's a problem with your tax refund. You need to pay a processing fee. So click this link and then we'll take you to the website for you to pay the processing fee. That's a way for them to kind of harness and gather all of your personal information. If you click a link and then you add your email or your social or things, then they have what they need to scam you. Things that they're doing is they're filing a tax refund before you are. There's other websites too. Let's say if there's a data breach or a leak on those sites, they can get your email and your password, and the assumption is the same password will apply to your email. And most people have the same email password that they use on all the other websites,
yes, they
right?
do. Yep.
So a website gets hacked or there's a data leak, and then they log into your email. Once they're in your email, they can do a search for tax documents, W-2s, 1099s, all of those things, and now they have your social security numbers, they have your employment, they have your address, and they can then go in and file a return on your behalf, or get the refund. So they'll just put in their banking information. So it's a red flag when you file and your return is rejected because a filing has already been placed on your behalf. So if that happens, that is when you need to notify the IRS and let you, start the steps to remedy that. But there's a few steps you can take to mitigate this.
I saw the first thing on that list, and it said the IRS won't contact you by text or email. I said, let's go over that because I think that's important.
That's a really important.
Because there are times when they do need to reach out to you. How do they do it?
They do it by mail.
And that's it.
Always by mail. If they've notified you multiple times by mail, I would say this is going to be months and a year. Then they may call, but it's almost always going to be by mail. In fact, I had a tax document from the IRS on my desk this morning, and I opened it thinking, oh no, is there a problem somewhere? And it was a document saying, somebody verified your ID on ID.me. And I thought, okay, that's my team. We're working on taxes for our clients right now. But it was a paper notice. It's always going to be a paper notice. So if you get an email, if you get a text, it's a phishing scam. Don't respond to it.
What are what are some other simple steps people can take right now to kind of protect their information?
I would make sure that you have a different password for your email. I think it's important that you file when you can. Make sure that you're using a reputable tax preparer. If you go to H&R Block and you are following a link from an email that's saying, hey, you can get $50 off if you use this link, and it's actually not H&R Block, that's a problem. So make sure you're using a reputable person or a reputable website to file your taxes. Some preparers will, tout, hey, go through me, I do taxes, but they actually don't. And then they don't sign the return, and then they steal your information. So go with somebody that's trusted, people that you are referred to or that you vet in some capacity, because there are, fake actors. There's actors in the space.
Anything you should watch for after you file? Any warning signs or anything like that?
So if you file and then you get a warning, like I said, your return has been rejected because somebody else has already filed on your behalf, that's going to be a red flag. If you get a warning saying you have income that didn't match an employer's filing, because employers have to report W-2s and everything to the IRS. So if there's any discrepancy, they'll notify you. So if you get a notice saying, hey, your wages didn't match what the employer stated, that's a red flag that somebody maybe applied or did the tax on your behalf ahead of time, ahead of you.
We just have a few seconds left here, but I want to go over the fact that, like you said at the beginning, this is a once-a-year thing. People tend to panic about it. What's the best way to tackle this in a, I don't know, simplified way? Is it just getting help from a reputable person?
It's getting help. I think sometimes working with the right preparer can help you feel more organized. As you get notices these, the last few weeks, take a picture of them. I said this last year, put it in a special file on your phone. These are my tax documents. Then at least you have them all in one place. And then hopefully your preparer is saying, hey, here are the things that you submitted last year. Again, it's pretty much the same information every year. If you added any real estate, if you had other business ventures, then those would be additions. But on the whole, you're going to have mostly the same reporting. It is important that you don't just email your tax documents to your preparer. There should be a secure portal with our company, with Booksmarts. There's a portal that I have my clients upload their documents to. So that correspondence should never be going through email. So if that's happening, that needs to stop.
All right. Scammers can get you in many different ways, and this is definitely a prime time. So Jenny, thank you for coming in and talking about this with us.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to send things back into Ron and Mary.
All right. Wow. Yeah, we appreciate all that information.
Hope everybody was taking notes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, remember, you can watch ARC Salt Lake if you want to go over that interview again with all the great information. All you have to do is you can pick up your phone, your tablet, TV, and get the highlights of our newscasts on the ARC Salt Lake YouTube page. QR code's right there. Zoom in.